Hi everybody, it's Claire from Handmade at Hudson's and thank you very much for pressing play on the video today. So today's video is to show you how to make 5 gorgeous cards which have just gone everywhere using the Looking Up stamp set and some other extra items which include a sponge dauber and a blending brush. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of tea or coffee, or you can craft along if you want to, and I will get into how these are made. So as said in the introduction, we're looking at cards that we can make with a Bermuda Bay stamping spot and some minimum of other items. So I am using a finger dauber and a blending brush. The ingredients video for this is linked in below, and essentially it's the Looking Up stamp set with a few extra bits added. So I like these cards. Of course, they will work with any colour. So if you've got another colour of stamping spot, you can use that. You can use a combination of colours. And so let's get into the first card. So the first card we're going to look at is a combination of these two. So they're pretty much the same card, but with different sentiments. And I think we're going to make a happy birthday card because you can never have enough happy birthday cards. So let's move these out of the way. So the first thing you want to do is to take a Whisper White note card and you want to burnish it using your bone folder. And then what I tend to do is just to check that it's level and also which way does it tend to open. So I'm going to go this way. So sometimes with cards what will happen is that there'll be an extra lip on one side to make it easy to open. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Memento Black ink spot, sorry, Memento Black stamping pad, and I'm going to take my Happy Birthday. And I'm going to turn it around and line it up. So I'm going to line it up on that line there. So hopefully I'll stamp this straight. Okay, and then I'm going to ink up the stamp. So I want to make sure that there's a lot of ink on here because I am using a stamp block. I can't re-stamp. So then I'm going to go into the centre of the card. I'm going to stamp down and hold. So 20 seconds. So I always supposed told to say something is beautiful, something is beautiful, something is beautiful. So I'm going to give Tintin, which is my Labrador today. And there we go. We've got perfect stamping there. And then what I'm going to do, causing an avalanche, is take my stamping chamois and I'm just going to clean off this Happy Birthday because knowing me, it's going to go all over me, all over my hands. And the other thing I'm going to do is close up this memento because again, I'm really good at getting it everywhere. So I'm going to put my Happy Birthday back and I'm going to take the star, turn it around and just stamp it onto my block. So then I'm going to take my stamping spot. And as I said, this will work for lots of different colours. And I am going to stamp first generation stamp, second generation, third generation. So that just means that the first time I stamp it is a darker colour, then it goes lighter. And then again, I'm going to stamp first generation, second generation, third generation, and then you just want to stamp randomly around the card. So when you think you've got enough stars, I'm going to close that up. What you would do then is take the leftovers from your, and you can see my camera, take your leftovers from your stamp kit. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use my pickup tool to pick up the circles. So I'm just going to pick them up lightly, press them onto my card. And I'm going to put them on the first generation stars. and then have a look and see whether you like that. And I quite like that. So then I've realised I've forgotten to do something. So there's a discussion about the fact that the inside should be as pretty as the outside. So I'm going to take my star again. I'm just going to open this up, and I am going to stamp 3 times in this corner. And then again, I'm going to take your pick tool and put a dot in the corner. So we have a happy birthday card. So I quite like that one. So my next card that I'm going to show you what to do is I'm going to go for a sponge dauber card. So again, what you want to do is to take your note card, fold it in half, use a bone folder to make sure that it's closing, and then we turn it around. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this back on here before I lose it, because I'm notorious for doing that. So I'm going to go for I hope you feel better soon on this one. I'm going to ink this up. And I am going to stamp in the corner. I'm just going to hold. And there we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge dauber. So when I made this original example, I pressed really hard on the ink pad. However, you don't need to. And I'm just going to randomly dot. And then randomly dot. Just down the side, and if you don't think it's dark enough, you can just press on. And then I'm going to take the dot again, sponge dauber, and I'm just going to dot in the corner. And that's a really simple, quick, easy card using your sponge dauber. So the next card is very similar. And I'm going to take the sponge dauber off my finger and put that lid back on. So the next card is another sponge dauber card, apart from this one's lighter. And we've got the sentiment in a different place. So I'm going to clean off my Feel Better Soon before I put it back. So I've just got the champagne chamois out again. And I'm going to go thanks so much this time, I think. And I'm just going to line that up on the mat. And then I'm going to stamp that on. Right, so again, note card, bone folder to make sure it's straight. And this time I'm going to take my sponge dauber and I'm going to lightly tap. And then I'm going to randomly tap on the card. And if you think it's getting a bit light, you can go back in. That's a bit light. And then you can add as many or as few dots as you like. If there's any white bits. And again, I'm just going to go in and tap one in the corner. So with this one, you can add it in Memento, or you can add this in Bermuda Bay. So I've inked that up. I don't think it's inked properly, so I'm going to add some more ink. And then I'm going to stamp it there. Hold. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sentiment on the inside. But to be able to do that, I am going to clean off my stamp. so. And I'm going to take a piece of card, and as you can see, I am going to cover up the so much, and then if you press that down, that'll stay. And then I'm going to ink up just the thanks. And I'm going to take this bit off, and I'm going to hopefully just stamp the thanks. So there you go. Thanks so much, and thanks. Okay, so the next card, we're going to do some ink blending. So I'm just going to clean off this thanks so much. And put this away and show you how to do the ink blending. I'm just going to close this one up as well. So ink blending is really simple. You can ink blend with your finger dauber. However, the current in thing is to use a brush. So here I have a blending brush. So this one is from Amazon. As I said, the ingredients I'm using is linked in below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another note card, and again I'm going to fold and I'm going to burnish like so, and then there we've got our card. So I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to take it directly into the stamp pad, and I'm just going to rub so that I get ink on the brush. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to brush onto the paper to get the excess ink off, and then I'm going to lightly, in circular motions, add the brush onto the notepad, onto the note card. And it doesn't look like there's any ink on there, but there is. So I'm going to ink up again because I feel that the ink is running out, and then I'm going to take off the excess, and I'm going to add some more. And if you feel like the ink's running out, you can press onto the top. So I think that looks quite cloud-like. And it's not difficult, it's just blending to however you like to. So I don't know whether you can see that, but there is ink on there and there's ink on that one. And as I said, you can also blend with the blender pen, sorry, the ink dauber, and again that's just a bit darker. So if you don't have a blending brush, you can blend with your dauber in circles. Okay, so blender pen, no, sorry, blending brush. So what I'm going to do now is just to add a sentiment and some birds. So I'm going to add I'm so very thankful for you. Into the centre, and again I'm going to clean this off. Probably more useful if I keep this quite close by. And then I am going to take the birds and just stamp these randomly. So I'm going to add 3 lots of birds again. So and of course you can add bling if you'd like to. And then I'm going to open this up, and I am going to add the birds on the inside as well, so that we're tying in the outside to the inside. Okay, so the last one, this last card is a bit of a messy card. So you would have seen this possibly before, and it's called smooshing, and I'm just going to put this back. So what is smooshing? So smooshing is essentially using a bit of water, some plastic, so I'm just using the plastic cover from the top of my ink, and a colour. So what I am going to do is move everything out of the way because this is messy. So you don't want this to be too wet, so I would keep a piece of kitchen roll on hand. So let's bring in my kitchen roll. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my note card, I'm going to fold it in half, and I am going to hold that there. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink pad, and I am just going to add ink onto this plastic. And then I'm going to take any sort of spray bottle, so I'm using Stampin' Spritz, but you can use any water spray bottle you like. And I'm adding water. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my kitchen roll, and I'm just going to hold it over because I don't want this to be too wet because it will wreck the card. But I also don't want to take too much off, and I think I might have done that. Anyway, so then what you're going to do is you're just going to put it onto the card and you're going to smooch. So you can add random bits of colour in any bits that you want to. So what I've actually done on that one is I've actually taken too much colour off. So let's see if I can put some back on. Let's try again. So there is a fine line between adding too much water and not enough. So I'm just going to do one spray this time, or a few. Then I'm just going to tap gently to leave some colour. And then I'm going to dab this on like so. So this is called smooching. So as I said, you don't want it to be too wet because the card will warp. So the way to stop your card from moving is, one, to make sure that the water's off. So you want to dab it with your kitchen towel. And the second is you can use your block as a weight to hold that down. And I'm just going to clean my block off while I can see that there's black ink on there. And then all you need to do then is to stamp your sentiment. So I'm going to go for happy birthday again, I think, because I love this card. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment with the Bermuda Bay. Happy birthday. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment again in the Bermuda Bay on the inside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dots again, or the leftovers. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to add dots randomly. Like confetti onto the front of the card. So let's just move these out of the way. And the plastic sheet is moved, so I will find that in a minute. So let's move everything. So this is the original, this is the second card. Aren't they pretty? So that was how to make a number of cards really quickly using the Bermuda Bay Stampin' Spots and some items that you have in your craft cupboard. If you like this video, please don't Please don't. Please give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, please contact me. My email is clara@handmade.hudsons.co.uk. My email is linked in below. All the details of what I have used today is on my blog, which is linked in below, and there is also a ingredients video running through what I've used. Thank you very much for pressing play. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and it wasn't too crazy, and I hope that you join me for another video soon, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.